Hey everybody, welcome back to George Does Stuff. I'm George, I do stuff. That's it. No more. Okay, there's more. So I used to start, this channel actually started off as a fishing channel, and nobody watched it. So I decided I'd start reviewing some knives, and now 6 people watch it. And hi Dad, hi Ben. Those are 2 people I know that are always watching. So I often say this is the worst knife review channel on the internet. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm willing to bet I'm pretty bad. Anyway, we have a wing dang doodle of episode for you here. Today we are going back to the well for one of our favorites. Oh, by the way, I should take this time to thank my subscribers. I'm always grateful for people who subscribe to this channel. I never ask for people to subscribe. I never ask for likes. I want people just to enjoy themselves and not take this thing too seriously. Although, every day I creep a little closer to being monetized, which means I can get more knives and make more terrible reviews. Isn't that exciting? Woohoo! Anyway, it looks as though my tenure with the Amazon Vine program is coming to an end due to horrible money management on my end, and an incredible tax burden that will cripple me financially. So I'm going to get the hell out of there while I still can. But during my time there, I was introduced to a bunch of different knives from a bunch of different manufacturers. I would like to say it was a positive experience, but seeing as how it's going to crush me in the long run, that is what it is. But anyway, this is a knife company that I was introduced to, again, via the Amazon Vine program. And I may have been the first person to introduce you all to this knife company. And that knife company is the legendary Ba-Kor. I have to zoom out. I apologize. This thing is just a beast. This is the Ba-Kor model to be revealed later when I look it up on the internet. Note to self, look it up. It is a preposterously huge knife. It is very reminiscent to what back in the day we used to call mall ninja knives. Back in my day, we used to have a thing called shopping. I'm trying to see if on the box there's anything to indicate the make and model of this, and there is. Well, I mean, the make we know is Ba-Kor. I don't know what the model is, but again, I'll put it up there and make fun of myself or whoever does my editing. This guy right here. But we'll pretend like it's somebody else. Like all Ba-Kor knives prior to this one, you're seeing too much behind the curtain. This thing is ridiculously large. This one actually comes with a Kydex sheet, which is kind of nice. Again, you have these decorative snaps that don't really serve any purpose. I guess they serve a purpose to keep this in line. So there you go. There's the back. You got your belt loop. You have a nice lanyard. That's kind of nice. That's kind of new as far as I can recall from, I know the other ones haven't. But it's very nice. It's kind of a blending of, old school, new school with the leather mixed up with the Kydex. Even have Kydex on the tip. And as I always mention, there is a drain hole, if you can see that there. Beep, burp, burp. So that way, you don't want to have a Kydex sheet without a drain hole, because if you store your knife in your Kydex sheet, any moisture gets in there, and there's no drain hole, it will rust your knife, because most large fixed blade knives are not made out of 100% stainless steel, as I'm sure is the case for this one. I will tell you that this knife is silly and ridiculous, so it is a perfect match for me in this channel. And when I remove this from the sheath, you guys can either gasp or laugh in hilarity, because whatever you're expecting to see, this might not be what you expect. But here we go. I'm going to try not to cut myself. Yeah. Okay, it's locked in there good. I'm telling like I'm right hand. There we go. And there it is. This looks like a straight up 1985 knife store in the mall knife. This kind of blends kind of a Eastern traditional, almost Persian tip with a 80s/90s Rambo-esque non-functional saw blade, which is, by the way, very, very sharp. I'm slicing my finger open as we speak. This is made out of, well, you can probably see right there, If I can get it over here. 9CR which is not a typical steel I find in knives this large. Usually they make them out of D2, 3V, 1080, 1095, and whatever else they can find sitting around in the old metallurgist shop. But 9CR18 MOV is not a terrible steel. At least it's not 404C, which is good. It's not in the 400 series. Although it's probably not far off. I will see if I can't look up the qualities of 9CR18 MOV. I'm not 100% sure on them anyway. But yeah, this knife has everything you need in a traditional knife you're trying to sell to a 16-year-old kid who's trying to spend all their lawnmower money on a knife. It has the wacky serrations. Oh yes, wacky serrations. A giant swedgy clip point thing happening here that is literally bordering, and it's a swedge. Even the swedge is sharp. Yeah, I mean it's not sharp end. It's just it's not rounded. It's literally sharp. You have a very pronounced point there. Let's see if I can actually kind of capture how sharp that point. I mean that point it's like a freaking needle. It is insane how sharp that point is. It's crazy. And believe me, that point, that will not hold up. That you stab that into a tree once, and I guarantee you that'll either bend or snap off. That is not going to last long. Has a little, I would say it's hollow grind. I'm sure some people would call that a saber grind, but no, that's actually a hollow grind. So it thins out very nicely behind the blade once you get down to here. It has lashing marks for spears. Because actually, this would probably make a pretty good spear. It's halfway there. All you need is about another 1 foot of length. This thing is good for the javelin contest. It has sculpted G2. It's not uncomfortable to hold. There's not a lot of logic in the sculpting pattern there, but it's a comfortable knife. I mean, it feels good in the hand. You could thwack something with it. I have several Ba-Kor knives. I even have a couple new ones that I'm going to highlight here in the channel a little bit. Spoiler alert. But of all the Ba-Kor knives that I have, this one feels like the one I trust the least. It is a full tang, and it is a decent sized blade stock, probably about 1/8 of an inch. They have torque screws keeping the scales on. Nice lanyard in the back, so if you got to do some chopping, you can make yourself a little lanyard and wrap around your wrist so you don't go flinging this thing off into the wilderness while you're trying to chop something. But again, this is the only Ba-Kor I've held so far that I would not trust this for chopping or batoning or anything life-saving at all. This really is kind of a show it off on your wall and tell your hunting buddies or whatever your drinking buddies about it. And when Crocodile Dundee comes on, if you guys are old enough to remember that movie, and the guy yells, "That's not a knife," you whip this out again.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
This is a knife. This is a knife. This is what you fight the crocodiles with. You poke them with this, and you unzip them like you would your Christmas trousers. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. Anyway, so yeah, a very interesting knife combination. A interesting knife design as a whole. It is. It's an attractive enough knife. For me, it's just a little too over the top. You know me, I love choils. It's got a big choil, but that choil is actually so big. Well, I mean, you gotta put your hand in kind of an awkward place to utilize it. I mean, it's a really awkward thing, and there is no crowning on this at all. This is razor sharp. You could easily strike a fire steel on this right here, or cut your hand, because I mean it is just raw, unfinished 9CR 18 MOV. But the good news is you have in giant letters the most important two words in the knife industry. Ba-Kor. I do like Ba-Kor knives. I will say that. I am not sponsored by them or anybody else. Why would you want my endorsement? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's got a lovely satin finish to it. It looks very nice. It's got some oil on it to kind of prevent any rusting from the factory. I would clean it up, but yeah, I'm not really sure this knife's going to see the light of day after this review for quite some time, because it's just not a practical knife. But that being said, you know, generally this is the point where I'll throw the dims up right there and the price. I'll throw that both up there. Boop, boop, boop. That's my cue to do that. But generally, you know, I do size comparos. In this case, I only have really two knives that I can use for the comparisons here. One is my much beloved Work Tough Mountain Lion, which is just the bee's knees. I love this knife, and you can see, in contrast to that, this thing is it is freaking colossal. If I put these butt to butt, look at the difference in size there. That's like a whole pair of two. I mean, that's that is just a gigantic freaking piece of metal right there. And the other is my absolute favorite Ba-Kor, and just the king of silliness. I love this. I really do love this knife to death. And this knife, unlike the one we're looking at right now, this one I would trust with my life. This has got a DC 53 steel, which is, I believe, a jacked up D2 type derivative steel. This knife, I mean, this is a huge chunk of metal, and it feels the part. It really feels as though you can get things done with this guy. So this knife, I would absolutely, you know, if I was in a you know what hits the fan situation, this would not be a bad knife to have, either in your backpack, your car, house, woodshed, whatever. This knife, even better. I mean, Work Tough stuff has been tried and true. If you ever go to Joe X's channel, that guy puts these knives through hell and back, and these things always overperform. I mean, and things that you would never do with the knife, he does, and these things still survive. That's how good they are. Generally, most of these Work Tough knives literally have to be destroyed with a gun to break them. This knife, not so much. This knife feels as though it would not hold up to much abuse at all, but it looks cool. And so if you're looking for a cool looking knife, that's you know, I don't know, 40 inches in length. I mean, this thing is it's ridiculously big. That has a saw that, you know, probably, I mean, it'll work in some situations. Maybe if you have some really soft pine or something, I don't know. But I definitely wouldn't trust my life to that saw blade on the back. If you want to use it as a fighting knife, you can. You'd have a huge advantage because there are no other fighting knives that are 40 feet long like this one is. But other than that, it really is, like I said, time and time again, it's not a knife that I would trust my life to say the least. And nor should you, to be honest. I'm trying to put away this other gigantic Ba-Kor that I love so much. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. Sitting in this giant wooden sheath of destruction. I love this knife. Anyway, so yeah, so you got that. You got the sheath. You see how it looks compared to the Mountain Lion. Mountain Lion, again, that's another just a fantastic knife. I believe I've done a review on that. It is a trusted, tried and true, excellent tool. And this Ba-Kor, I still like it. I'm not going to say not to buy it. But just know that if you are buying this for a wilderness adventure, you're going on a high adventure camp to Alaska, and all you're taking, you know, is a sleeping bag and a knife and maybe a flint or something and a flashlight, this isn't the knife you take with you, okay? This knife, this is a knife that generally I would, you know, I'd put over the fireplace or, you know, next to the electric guitar that you don't know how to play, and just keep it over there in the corner and just have people kind of look at it. Because that's all this knife is really. This is really just a showpiece, and it's an inexpensive showpiece, but a showpiece nonetheless. But that being said, let's see if it knives. We're gonna take out a piece of phone book paper and we're gonna see if it cuts. So I'm gonna do a little editing here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. You get what you pay for on this channel. Let's see if she cuts. And I have a feeling she's gonna cut just fine. Oh yeah. That's one thing I'll say about Ba-Kor. Nary a dull blade leaves the fat. Wow, this thing is really sharp, actually. I mean, this is a gigantic knife, and it's cutting pretty damn well. Excuse my language. I've been in France recently. Yeah, that's pretty impressive for a knife that, again, is basically a steel diving board. All right, folks, guess what? That's going to do it. We have proven our point. We've got ourselves a nice, gigantic, colossal survivor decorative piece of art, I guess we'll call this. I'm not exactly sure how to categorize it. But it's a fun knife. It's a big knife. It's a knife that might be fun to kind of show off to your friends and neighbors and maybe the police when they come for the disturbing of the peace call that comes with this knife. But yeah, there it is. My newest addition to the Ba-Kor collection. Again, I apologize for being unprepared, not knowing the model, but there it is. The Ba-Kor saw blade monster knife from hell. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you made this far, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. And that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.